Okay, so just having a look at the tree that has been not cut down yet, still standing. I don't know if you can tell, but a good 2/3 of it's actually missing. Kind of the left half of it in the middle. It's kind of a big gap you can kind of see through of the evergreen. So it seems that the cutting down of that tree has stopped mid-flow. Unfortunately, I don't think it has anything to do with my protesting. I think it's just for some reason they're not able to do it. But it's good to see it's still standing. But it's sad to see it's kind of not in all its glory, being a good portion of it's been chopped down. So I just thought I'd do an update on the crime against nature against this beautiful fern tree. But I have a feeling it might have something to do with a lack of people to cut it down right now. I get to enjoy it for a bit longer because they are beautiful trees, and there'll be a big gap when it is gone. And I'm inclined to, talk to my neighborhood councillor about stopping these things from being done, unnecessarily. I don't really see the necessity in getting rid of that tree at all, like any good reason for it to not be here, And why people should have the right just to cut it down because they can. Policies have to change about, the protection of nature and trees and the things that keep us healthy and, help nurture the wildlife and just all around good for us, I live in a city. With city comes a lot of pollution, and it doesn't seem to decrease, There's more cars parked up and down my road now than ever. And, just two of the places that I live next to, have two cars, per household. So it's very common, and across the road there's, 2 cars per household, and I live very closely to my neighbours. There's a big row of flats all attached, one next to another in a big block. So, literally people living right next to you and above you. I happen to be on an end, but my neighbour who lives on the other block is literally, I open my front door and there's his front door. That's how close we are, a couple feet from each other when we literally open our doors. That's how close the neighbours are. So it's a densely populated city, and it's these beautiful spaces that make them, really bearable and livable, and sort of kind of give you sort of some good, healthy, mental well-being, being connected to nature, not just being surrounded by cement and pavements and tarmac, So we need to preserve these beautiful trees, because it will be really, a detriment to this neighborhood losing that tree. For the wildlife and for ourselves. Clean air. And just beauty to look at. Just visual beauty, You look at a tree and it's a beautiful thing. It's art in its own way. It's a living thing, and why kill it? For what reason do they have to get rid of that? Except for that they can do it, and they will carry on doing it as long as we allow it. But people have to stand up for the environment as well as the animals and as well as ourselves. You know, we love, we live amongst each other, and we need to show, love towards these other living creatures or animals, as well as the living plants and trees and all life. So on that note, we'll say goodbye, and we'll hang on to the beauty of that tree for as long as we can.